Backlog refinements in Scrum. Refinements are a key foundation to any Scrum team's success. Before a team starts working together, they have to refine their backlog. As a team starts to sprint, they have to continuously refine their backlog. This is where a team comes together to organize, they collaborate, and they align on the direction of their product. This video is for Scrum Masters who are maybe looking to improve their backlog facilitation. I will also show some tools that I use, and at the end, I'll talk about things to watch out for in your refinements. The first tool I'm going to show is Jira. Maybe some of you are using other project management tools. I would recommend using the tool that you already are using to have your user stories. I've seen teams actually bring in other tools like Excel to do refinements and then transfer them into their management tool. I would recommend against this. I think this is going to just create pointless busy work. The product owner knows ahead of time that they need to prepare either the epic or the user stories that we're going to refine that day. So let's say that this is a big picture epic refinement. We have a new large initiative that's going to take multiple sprints, and then we will go through the context and the value of this. Why are we working on this? We'll go through the metrics. We want to make sure everyone understands what's going to be measured in order to determine if it's a success or a failure. And then we'll go through the acceptance criteria. This is where we have the good team conversation and collaboration. As we're discussing, I as a Scrum Master make sure that someone, it doesn't matter who, is taking notes on the questions that come up from the team. Maybe the answers are already known. Maybe the product owner or a team member needs to get them after the session. We will negotiate what's in scope, what's not in scope. We'll make sure it's noted here. And then dependencies. This is something that's really important to call out in any refinement, whether it be at the epic level or the user story level. Have them think about what teams, what other tools are we dependent on to make sure they're running by the time it's time to start working on this. The next tool I'm going to use is called Agile Poker. This is a Jira plugin. This is good for when you're going through user stories, bugs, or tasks in the backlog that are ready for the team to discuss. The Agile Poker plugin, what I like best about it is it allows for an asynchronous backlog refinement. Asynchronous refinements are good for more mature teams. They've had some practice and experience with backlog refinements already. The product owner is seasoned in writing good user stories, and the team is at a place where they're negotiating and conversing well in these sessions. So just to show you how this works, what I do is I go in here as the Scrum Master. I create a new session for the async refinement. I will go in here and I'll make sure I will assign my team members. So we have some of my team members. Okay, assigned. I click next. And then I work with the product owner to determine what user stories are ready to refine. We go ahead, I come in here, I select them. All right, I click start session. And then in Jira itself, every team member is going to have that similar button called Agile Poker at the top right corner. They will go in, they'll join the session, and what they'll see on their side is the list of selected user stories. They'll see all the details. They can add comments. They can add their estimate. Once they do that, they click next. It's saved in the system. The other participants don't see the estimates. And then once it's time to come together as the Scrum Master, you reveal the estimates and you start that conversation. But it goes a lot quicker because everyone has already seen the user stories and had a chance to even have some conversations ahead of time, think about dependencies, maybe even look through some of the technical details, and things go better. Last tool I'm going to talk about is called pointingpoker.com. It's really simple. It's better for the less mature teams, maybe teams who haven't gotten good practice or the hang of refinements yet, or it's good for times where you just need to do an ad hoc refinement session. So go to pointingpoker.com, click on start a session, give the session a name, click join session, take the URL, copy it, send it to your team members. Their names will start showing up automatically here. They don't need to sign in or sign up. They'll see a timer. You'll see how long you've been talking about a particular user story. Everyone can start adding their own estimates when they're ready. You click show votes and then clear votes when it's time to move on. Simple. Now you've seen the 3 primary tools that I use in my refinement sessions. If you have any other suggestions, comment below. All right, let's talk about things to watch out for in backlog refinement sessions. The first is endless conversations about unknowns. I don't know how many of you have been in a session and found your conversation going in circles. This has happened to me many times. I've now learned to help the team stop, take note of what information is needed to then progress in that conversation, and come back to this at a later time. The next is going too deep into technical solutioning. You're going to waste your time and you're not going to talk about the important points, which are the goals of the initiatives that are coming up and the user centricity, what you're actually trying to accomplish. That's the goal of the session. Next, destructive conversations and unhealthy dynamics. Help everyone in the room feel like they have a voice and that they will be heard. Respect is a Scrum principle. This is a flat hierarchical session. Everyone needs to feel comfortable to contribute. The next is treating estimations as commitments. Estimations are imperfect by nature. These are not commitments. The next is unclear product initiatives. I've been in refinements before where the product owner has not really made it clear what the acceptance criteria is, what the expectation of the changes are. And what happens is you spend your whole session asking and answering questions and making those clarifications. What this does in the long term is each backlog refinement session, you only get through about 1 to 2 user stories, and you really won't build up a healthy estimated backlog. The last is weak product vision. If you don't have strong direction and value in where your product is going, you're probably not going to have very smooth backlog refinements. Weak product vision is why most products fail. This is something to be handled outside of backlog refinement. This is something to be handled with stakeholders, your users, your product owner. They need to strengthen that first, and then the refinement sessions will become clearer and more useful. If there are any subjects or topics that you're interested in learning more about or just seeing how I've facilitated them in my experience, please comment below. I'm interested in hearing it. I will be continuing to make more videos, and I hope you enjoy.